All right, guys, we are back and we are going to continue the conversation with the Deadpool 3 casting. I thought the first Deadpool movie was okay. I don't like seeing uh, mutant characters or people with powers fighting normal people. I think that's dumb. I think the only way you can escalate the situation with a powered up villain it is a powered up villain. I don't want to see a normal guy, and the guy he fought in the movie, just it was a pretty cool fight, but just utterly just a forgettable character. And then the Deadpool 2 shows up and he's actually fighting other, powered up characters, Cable, Juggernaut, Fire Fist. I like that. I like seeing that. And you can see him fighting these characters that can clearly kick his ass. And it made for just very entertaining and a very fun viewing experience. And, Deadpool films actually have a pretty good cast, both the first one and the second one. And let's talk about who's going to be in the third one. Now, this third one is going to be a bit special, to be a little bit different because they're going to integrate this film with the MCU. Now, if you've seen the second one, they did do a quick kind of cameo-ish throw to where they connected Deadpool with the original X-Men trilogy, more so the sequel trilogy of them when they're younger, but that's still connected, I guess. And so now we're connecting it all to the MCU. Now, of course, it's messed up how they're doing it, but alright. So Shane Levi will direct. I don't know nothing about this dude's filmography. I don't know what he's directed or not directed. Just saying that Sean Levi is going to be directing it. But let's get to who's being cast in the film. Of course, Ryan Reynolds is returning as Deadpool, and returning as well, which everything's I think set in stone, will be Karan Soni and Leslie Uggams returning, which Karan was the taxi cab guy who was pretty funny, and then Leslie was the blind owl character who was actually pretty funny too. So it's nice to see that they're going to be coming back. It's also been confirmed recently that Marina Baccarin and Stefan Kapicic are going to return as Vanessa and Colossus. That's good. I actually like the relationship between Deadpool and Vanessa, and it's good to see her character come back. One of the best things about the first film was this relationship, their chemistry together, and a bit of what was in the second film, which was actually pretty good as well. And it's good to see Colossus come back too, because you need somebody for Deadpool to pick on, and Colossus obviously is the moral center of the character, even though for the most part Deadpool does what he wants to do. So I like seeing that these two are going to come back as well. Now we have new additions, which are going to be Emma Corrin, who is confirmed to be the villain. Not sure who, and I don't know Deadpool's bad guy gallery or anything, so I don't know who he fights or whatever. I know he tends to fight pretty much everybody, good and bad, but I wouldn't know who this character, what kind of a villain would want to fight him. And then we have a Matthew McFadden. Don't know who the hell that is at all. I don't know this guy. I don't know his filmography or anything. And which they say he's going to be in an undisclosed role. Now, I really wasn't interested in those two, but I was interested in discussing some of the other casting ideas and things that came up. One, they were talking about bringing Patrick Stewart back at one point. I think that was a bit more of a rumor, but let's address it. Hell no. Do not bring back Patrick Stewart as Professor X. The man completely killed it as Professor X in the original trilogy. Was really good character. I guess you could say it was nice seeing him come back in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. They did my boy wrong, but it was nice seeing him come back. He's had his day as that character, and I think we need to just move on. And of all the X-Men characters that you could want that have yet to grace the screen, both villains and heroes, you talk about bringing back Professor X, which doesn't really make any sense to me. So Patrick Stewart, you've had your play as a good character, go on about yours. I see you with Picard and everything, and much power to you, but like I said, I think if somebody's been in a role for a certain amount of time, let it go after a while. But Now, the biggest news of casting was, of course, Hugh Jackman coming in as Wolverine, and I believe that it is confirmed that Hugh Jackman will be in this film as Wolverine. Is it going to be the Wolverine that we know from the X-Men series? Probably, and I'm not sure if it's going to be canon with it or not. I don't know. The whole X-Men series just doesn't make any sense time-wise and canon-wise and story-wise. Just ugh. But anyways, I'm on the fence about this too because again, I feel like there are a ton of heroes that could be in this film. There are a ton of villains that could be in this film, and I know everybody wants to see Deadpool and Wolverine fight and everything. I don't want to see it. They had a chance to do it, they didn't do it, so screw it. Let Hugh Jackman, who has been playing Wolverine for like a decade now, let that man go. Let it be what it be. Let that man go chill or something. Let that man go sit on the beach and drink some Bacardis or something. Stop trying to bring back these people to these roles because the companies don't have faith that they can pick somebody to either replace the roles or pick a new character that could be just as iconic. Just like Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor weren't that iconic in Marvel before the MCU. You can still make, and if Spider-Man, who was pretty much leading the charge with Marvel, if you can make Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man to be that significant, can bring them up to stardom like that. Just do that with other characters. Just do what you did with those three characters. Put in the time, the money, and the talent to make them great characters, and people would gravitate to them. Just like all these other films that have come out, these other superheroes. It made Ant-Man interesting. I've never been interested in damn Ant-Man. You know what I mean? They make Black Widow interesting. They make Hawkeye interesting. They made Hulk interesting until they didn't make Hulk interesting. They made Black Panther interesting until they didn't make Black Panther interesting. But anyways, like I said, Wolverine had his time, and truly, I don't think we've actually got to see a good adaptation of the character in the films. The closest thing is probably, what was it, the Dark Phoenix? No, it wasn't the Dark Phoenix. It was the Apocalypse movie, X-Men Apocalypse. I think that was like the closest that we got to like an actual comic book adaptation of Wolverine that we in terms of violence and everything. But they did say that Deadpool 3 is going to be R-rated, so we've seen plenty of people get killed in the first two films, so I think that's a good way to go. But like I said, the Hugh Jackman thing, I'm on the fence about. Like I said, the man has had his day, and I want this film banking on nostalgia of this, this character. So I'm on the fence about him. Now, I do have some questions. So what I was looking up, I didn't really get confirmation of these people returning. We got, the other people that I discussed that were going to be returning. So I'm not sure if these people are going to return. T.J. Miller, who played the Weasel in the first and the second film, I liked him, and I'm interested to see if he's going to return. Didn't really get confirmation on that if he is or not, but I want to see him come back. Josh Brolin as Cable definitely was one of the best highlights of Deadpool 2. I want to see if he is coming back, especially the way the film ends. The film ends that Cable's going to be there, so why not have his character come back? And I guess it's going to be conflicting because now it's not going to be independent of the MCU, and then Josh Brolin being in the MCU after playing Thanos, kind of an interesting dynamic if he's going to be coming back playing a Cable. So I don't know. Like I said, I would like to see him come back. They introduced him. He was a nice character, but nice to see what kind of shenanigans he gets in. And it's weird because it feels like they couldn't get Cable back because Deadpool's a goofball, and he's a complete goofball and everything. He's very unpredictable, and you see him going back and forth with Colossus, who's more of like the moral center of doing the right thing and stuff. And it's good to have those dynamics too. And then on the other face of it, you got Deadpool being goofy and stuff dealing with Cable, and Cable is kind of like the very serious, dark tone, grim character. And it's good seeing those dynamics. Just kind of like if you look at Deadpool and Domino. And Domino is like, okay, she's like smart and stuff, and then she looks at Deadpool as kind of being of a dumbass. and she's kind of putting him in his place and stuff, and kind of keeping him on the right track and stuff. And I like Deadpool's I like those dynamics and stuff with characters like that. And it feels like if Cable couldn't be in the, if Cable's not in the film, then Wolverine would take over that spot as the serious, brooding character, and Deadpool dealing, messing with him and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see if that's the way they're going to go with that. Now, but I do want to see. They got to give me a good reason as to why Cable's not in this film. I never liked Cable before. I actually liked Cable in the movie. So, all right, don't do that to me. Don't introduce a character and take him out. Don't do that to me. And then, okay, Zaza Beats, Domino. I thought she was fantastic. Definitely one of the best highlights of Deadpool 2. And just like I was saying, it was nice seeing her dynamic with Deadpool. And what was even better about her, besides her attitude and the fact that she just looked absolutely sexy as hell in this movie, was her powers. How the powers, it was just wild how they set up her abilities in the film, and I want to see more of that with her character as well. So I'm interested to see if Domino is going to come back. Now, another interesting character that I wanted to see was the Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who was played by Brianna Hildebrand. I actually liked her character because, again, she kind of fit a mix of the dark, brooding character who kind of views, Deadpool as kind of the dumbass. So she kind of fit the two roles of like the serious character and kind of like the more responsible character that Zaza kind of plays in the film. So I want to see if her character is going to come back. I really enjoyed her character, and it'd be nice to actually see her, how she's grown with her abilities, because she's got really interesting powers, and we don't really get to see too much of it. We see it here and there, and maybe got a scene here or there in the first and the second film, but I would like to see her come back and do a bit more with her powers. So, like I said, the casting is pretty cool. It seems like half the cast that I wanted to see is coming back, and the other half I'm interested to see what they're going to come back to. The Firefist character, I don't know. It seems like more of these characters that they've been actually talking about bringing back are more like the comedic characters, because most of the comedy comes from him talking with Colossus, him talking with Blind Al, him and the cab driver guy. So I'm interested, and that kind of goes back with the Weasel character, even though Weasel's is not said to be in it, at least that I found. So the casting was pretty cool. I'm interested to just see if those favorites are going to come back as well, especially Cable and Domino, especially Domino. If anybody would return for this film, I would definitely say Domino needs to come back. Again, maybe they are in the film. I just didn't come across it, the news for it, but I hope she does.